Hi guys, today I want to talk real quick about a very important question that many subscribers and viewers of my YouTube channel have been asking me, and then I'll cover a little bit of updates on some economic collapse preparations that I'm making. And the question that these people have is, do I feel that this country is too far gone to ever become the country it once was again, such as what it was in the early 1900s or maybe even before that, minus the slavery? And basically my answer is, unfortunately, yes. I feel the country is too far gone to ever become what it once was. Basically, I feel that the people are too naive on the Constitution. They don't understand their rights. I see masses of people basically just volunteering their rights away. Just think about little simple things. Like you go to a Walmart and the person walking out the door says, "Can I see your receipt?" And everybody just shows their receipt. Or Sam's, Costco, I believe, does the same thing. I'm the guy who says, "No, you can't. It's my property." And I walk out the door, and very often I have some little old lady screaming at myself and my family as we walk through the parking lot demanding my receipt, making a big fuss over it. And I usually stop and I explain to them, look, the Fourth Amendment guarantees you the right against searches and seizures. It's like by you checking my receipt walking out the door, you're basically searching my belongings. You're also searching my receipt, which is mine. I paid for all the things, and you have no right to see them if I don't want you to see them. But people don't understand this. I think that's a very small, minute straw on the camel's back that people just don't get. It's like, you don't have to show your receipts. You have a right to not show your receipt. And, I mean, this leads into more serious issues like tickets. Let's talk about how unconstitutional like a speeding ticket is. Basically, let's just start, somebody gets pulled over and they're going 5 over or something like that. Well, the Constitution basically begins at a much earlier stage than where that ticket began. The police officer asks for the driver's license, proof of insurance, checks the tag and the inspection on the vehicle. But the Constitution says that you have the right to travel free and unencumbered. So basically, when this officer who swore to protect and defend the Constitution demands to see a driver's license, he's demanding to see something that the state encumbered onto you. He demands your proof of insurance, or the state encumbers onto you. Look, people would ask me the question, what happens if you get a wreck, you don't have insurance? That's not my issue. I guess there could be a lawsuit or something. That's for a politician to deal with. That's for somebody else who writes laws to deal with. It's not up to me to devise some type of a solution for that issue. What I can say is it's unconstitutional to encumber somebody with that. And then he goes on to check the inspection, which is another encumbrance on your right to travel free and unencumbered. It's kind of amazing when you think of how many levels these people, I guess RP 4409, the YouTube channel, he likes to call the police officers pirates. And, don't get me wrong, I like police officers, but I like them to really fight serious crimes. It's like little issues like crimes that would be considered a crime against the Constitution, obvious things like robberies and felonies, going after somebody for a little bit of marijuana, or somebody who is just going 5 over. That's not a big issue whatsoever. It's quite ridiculous. It's a municipal corporation imposing these laws on the people, encumbering them when they shouldn't be. But let's go a little further with that ticket. So this person gets this ticket. And after they've been violated so many times on a constitutional level by people that sort of protect and defend the Constitution, they go to the municipal court, which, by the way, the judge has to swear to protect and defend the Constitution as well. And the person sits there and tells the judge basically that they're not guilty. And what the judge will do at that point is say, okay, you can go sit down over here. So they're making the person wait in the courtroom while everybody else is processed who's willing just to pay up the bucks. It's really a racket. So the person has to sit there for a couple hours while everybody else is just paying away and pleading their case to the judge. So then you ask the judge, can I have the right to a trial? I want a jury trial. And the judge rolls their eyes and says, okay, fine, you can have a jury trial. So what you do is you sit here in this courtroom with, usually it's a smaller jury, 6 people often in something like a speeding case. And the prosecution is a police officer who's paid by the state. The judge in the case is paid by the state and represents the state that you're in. In my state, the judge would represent the state of Texas. On the ticket, it would say the state of Texas versus Aware Patriot. So basically, the judge who's representing the state is also basically in bed with the prosecution. Also, the jury is paid for by the state, even though it's meager wages. And also, that jury was usually violated coming through the door to be on jury duty when they're searched, and they give themselves up to have their Fourth Amendment violated. So they obviously don't know the Constitution. So there's this huge conflict of interest in the courtroom where everybody around you is paid for by the state, who's also the person who's prosecuting you. How do you have the right to a free trial or a fair trial and a fair constitutional trial if everybody's paid for by the state in that courtroom? You see, we've gone so far from the Constitution that I don't think that there's any hope. People just can't even think on that level anymore. I don't think there's any hope for us to have a true constitutional republic again in this country. Too brainwashed, too many years since people understood these things, and I feel it's hopeless. However, I think it's possible in many rural counties if people would elect district attorneys who would prosecute judges and police officers and any public official for perjuring their oath of office to the Constitution. So if you have municipal judges who are conducting a courtroom like that where everyone's paid for by the state, have the district attorney prosecute them. And it's basically a felony when you lie under oath. It's called perjury. Have them prosecute them for perjury. If we get the district attorneys in key places to prosecute these people, I believe that there could be some much more freer counties, especially in states without a massive population or massive cities. Maybe, I don't know, Wyoming or possibly Montana, where people have much more of a libertarian and constitutional mindset. I don't think Texas is one of those states. We're very, even though Ron Paul's from here and Alex Jones, it's a very Republican-y, Rick Perry type of state where they believe heavily in the GOP. There's a little bit of change going on here, but not much. And I just don't find hope in the country, basically. I don't think people are going to understand the Constitution anymore at that level. We have to get back to our roots. I think the only way we can really have any hope whatsoever is put DAs in very key places that will prosecute people for perjuring their oath of office. And that's about it, guys. Other than that, I think we're hopeless. People just submit to red light cameras, taking photographs of their cars, their license plate, whether they're driving or not. They submit to a photograph being a witness against them in a courtroom. That the Constitution says you have the right to face the witnesses against you. Plural, witnesses. That even works in that speeding case. The police officer was the only witness. The Constitution has witnesses against you, which would mean if your word contradicts the police officer, then there needs to be another witness who witnessed your crime, so that there's more than one person who has, that's two people's words over your own. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to put that out there and answer that question that many people have been asking me, if I think that the country could be restored. I really don't think it could be. We could have some free counties, and that's about it. And I'll move on to some economic collapse preparation updates, just a few things that I have going on here. I have a bunch of watermelons coming up right now. My okra's doing well. My onions are great. My tomatoes are great. And it's really exciting to have this much food coming up with the other gardens, and watching these watermelons, which will be ready probably sometime in mid-August to late August, early September. And we're going to be having so many watermelons. We just have little watermelon mounds coming up all over the place here. Remember those little chicks that I had several months back in a video? Well, they're full-fledged chickens now. And they're going to start laying eggs here in about a month, maybe a month and a half. And they've grown a whole lot, as you can see.